G'day everyone. Barkarati is now brought to you by Disruptor Marine Marketing, using AI to help your marine business grow. And our friends at Radix Nutrition, the most technically comprehensive nutrition products ever to exist. Unlock your potential with Radix. G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast. My name is Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some very cool sailors, but of course I have to share the mic with a few of my idiot mates. First off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, Exalted One.
BP.
G'day everyone, how are you all? And I've got to say all because this is going to be a classic, I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
We've got heaps of us here.
Yep, that's good. yeah, it's like all my mates.
Go through it, I'm not even going to say anything. Keep going.
I'll bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Nick Bice.
G'day, team.
Oh, it's here.
We're back. Needed to steer the show back on track, I guess. So, but I've joined a ripper today. Just coming live from Gatwick. About to jump back on the bird back home after Cows Week, which we'll discuss during hot time. But what a regatta!
Yeah,
unreal.
Yeah,
the Solent was given. She was given.
Oh,
perfect.
Wasn't an Admiral's
Good
Cup.
stuff.
It was a real Solent, was it?
No, it was perfect. Beautiful.
Perfect.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful
sailing.
sailing. Yeah.
And you know, because we want to raise the standard of this show, of course, we have.
You guys know how it's hard to be friends with me because I'm so awesome?
Stacey, how are you?
Coming in awesome from home for once. Everyone else is in a hotel room right now, and I'm at home. So
Yeah, it's good to have you. Right, so we've got a pretty full team here. We've kind of burnt 5 minutes just bringing everyone onto the show. It's quite crazy. So we'll get into it. We've got an episode this week that we've been wanting to pull together for a long time, and a lot of people have wanted this episode to come together. It's a really important one, one that I think that everyone and all your kids, all your friends, everyone should try and listen into this one. So we've got a couple of guests. We've got Jess Lundh and Malcolm Page. So Jess is former Australian sailing team member, also environmental scientist and a teacher with a decade of experience. Jess, she's a mother, she does everything. And Pagey, a few people might have heard of my mate Pagey, few gold medals in the back pocket and running Australian sailing at the moment. So the purpose of this discussion is to talk about a program that we're all very interested in. It's called SailLAB. SailLAB is a free STEM education program using sailing to teach science, technology, engineering and mathematics in Australian schools, developed by teachers aligning with our Australian curriculum and aiming to bring students into our sport and grow our sport, but also teach STEM. It's a wonderful idea. We've seen a lot of people talking about this. We've had a lot of communication where people are trying to get us to have this conversation on the show. Seen it at Sail GP a few times. I've had a beer in a pub with Jess just to try and understand it. You know, like it's a lot to be discussed. And so I just want to say welcome to the show, Jess and Pagey. It's good to have you on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, everyone.
Now we've run out of time.
And we'll wrap it up.
I'm going to jump in and ask, if you guys might not know, Jess and I have done a lot of sailing together over the years. So it's and we look forward to getting you back out on the water now you're East Coast, Jess.
Yeah, thanks.
Like, where did this idea come from? Like, what got you thinking down this path?
So it wasn't actually my idea. I was busy teaching actually when this idea sort of got started, and it was through the Department of Local Government, Sport and Culture Industries in WA. Prior to that, when Australia had their 40th celebration of the America's Cup victory, so this was in 2023, there was a party at Royal Perth, I believe, and some politicians got talking, and I think that's where the very first idea for this came from. From there, Kate Wern, so everyone knows Matt's sister, Kate, she's the GM, or she is now the GM for WA, Australian Sailing WA. And she wrote a grant to the DLGSC, which is the local government there, it was a strategic initiatives grant to write a STEM sailing program for primary and secondary schools in Western Australia. And in the year that the grant sort of application was in, it had to be piloted. So it had to be written and piloted and reviewed in 1 year. And so when they got that big sum of money, they suddenly said, oh, how who are we going to get to do this? And the timing was actually brilliant. I was in Marseille for my husband was coaching Maud Jayet for the Swiss Ilka 6. And so I was trying to work out a way that I could still keep doing what I love, which is teaching, but almost do it, remotely and bring together some of the ideas that I had in my head. So all this sort of came at the time where I'd just done my long service. I was on my long service leave from 10 years of science teaching. And I was sort of like, the universe comes to you with these opportunities, and it was at the perfect time, perfect place. And I grabbed it, and it was just, I'm so honored to have had the opportunity to build this from scratch and pilot it and then develop it into the next phase.
Well, this is the big thing, developing it from scratch. I mean, where do you start with something like this? I mean, obviously you've got there's an outline with the STEM curriculum across the board, but this is a whole new thing. Where do you start?
Exactly. So
before you jump in, Jess?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, BP, I'm a bit surprised they didn't reach out to us.
I know.
Put this together.
I was about to say you get people like Jess.
I was sitting around doing nothing and waiting, but no, it never came.
You were qualified when they were thinking about it at the bar.
Well, that's where I think good ideas start, right? So, but I think we're in safe hands. So,
it started at a good party, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, and that's a really good question. Where do you start? Because I had 10 years of ideas in my head from being a teacher and doing the Olympic campaign, with Stace and Katie and everyone. And so becoming a teacher after that. So I was an environmental scientist. So I've got a Bachelor of Science and a postgrad in environmental management. And then I did the sailing. And then after that, I was living in Europe and I couldn't get a job as an environmental scientist. So I became a teacher in international schools in Belgium. And then I had all these ideas sort of like, I guess, over the last 10 years of teaching. But the problem is I could see from my experience with teaching that every school is so different. So the biggest key was to make something that could fit into every school. And then the other great thing we had is we were almost last to the party in Australia. So a lot of other countries that had done something similar they've all got a STEM program in some way. So I spent a week or two just doing research on what every other and having meetings with other program directors of other STEM programs and really getting a good feel for what was working around the world and what wasn't, and then also knowing the Australian landscape and knowing how it should be built for Australia.
And I think that's one of the big key things from the, I guess, Australian sailing STEM versus some of the other ones. It's been built for the classroom. So it's actually delivered in the classroom, not at the local sailing club. Obviously, the classroom is where the kids are. So this is a whole new market, a big market that we can tap into for our sport in the long run.
Absolutely, a whole new sort of, I guess, sector of people.
So can I ask a question for the listener, and then it's sort of a two-part question. Why, for the people listening, should they care about this? And for Australian sailing, why do we care about this from an Australian sailing perspective? So maybe start with you, Paigey, first, and then go from there.
To me, in many ways, we are a niche sport. We've got a lot of perceived barriers out there. It's hard to, access. The way the demographics of Australia is changing with our current immigration policies, etc., the growth, and I guess the available time that young families have, getting to sailing and accessing sailing is becoming even more difficult. A lot of them are perceived barriers, but it's the thing that we've got to crack down. So obviously having a program like this delivered in the classroom, we're going to get this access and show our sport in obviously in a scientific way, but suddenly we're going to make it part of the curriculum, part of their vocabulary. They're going to probably go home and talk about it with their parents, and suddenly it's not going to be so hard to get into our sport in the long run. So it's completely different from what a traditional sports body, national body would do about helping participation. It's a really long-term play, but
it's a great pathway, and I mean, Bicey and Jordan sort of know from our background in South Australia. I mean, I don't know of the other states that were doing it. We had an education department-backed sailing program in Adelaide, was West Lakes Aquatic Centre. We all came from there, and quite a few famous Australian sailors have come from there, which was a school-based curriculum. We were all teachers, effectively. But I didn't see it in New South Wales. I didn't see it in Victoria. I didn't see it anywhere else. It was just in South Australia. I may be wrong, but that was only the sort of the practical side. So this is really a focus on it from more of a scientific and slash sort of, I guess, as you say, engineering and mathematics and all the things that are make it school-based, right?
Yeah, I think it comes from a different angle, not the practical side of it, because that's already happening around the world, and around the country, and that already has its own barriers, because you've got for secondary school, you've got a lot of barriers with timetabling and getting the students on the water and back to school within a period of school. So being able to do it all based in the school is a bit of a game changer. And the other thing is that it's the STEM, the demand for STEM programs has increased dramatically over the last, 5 years. And there's a lot of funding from the government into primary and secondary schools, building new STEM classrooms, making sure that STEM is timetabled. But the teachers actually don't have STEM programs just ready to go. So the fact that this is like just pick it up off the shelf and go, there's nothing left for the teachers to do themselves. As a teacher, I think you get quite used to, because a lot of people go to me and go, surely you can't pick this up if you're a non-sailor. Well, as a teacher, you actually pick up a subject every single day that you're not an expert on, but you pre-learn before you teach it. So teachers that are great teachers are able to pick this up and use the physics in it and use the teacher guide to actually upskill themselves very, very quickly, because they're capable. And I've had great experiences with teachers that were pretty kind of against it, that teachers get given it to do because that's fallen onto their timetable, and they're kind of like, oh great, we've got to do this subject, and then by the end of the year they're like, I can't wait to do it next year because I'm so I'm so knowledgeable. And so what we're actually doing is I've got 178 teachers in my community at the moment on Teams, and so we're like actively upskilling those teachers, so year on year they're going to be teaching more and more students and getting better and better at the course as they do that.
I guess it's a pretty broad question, and to both of you, how is the take up looking? I mean, how is it getting? I mean, how is it getting out there, and B, what is the take up?
So we started the pilot in 2024, so I wasn't brought on until about April, and we then piloted it through last year and launched in the pilot phase. We only had I chose 6 schools for secondary and 3 for primary, so about 400 students last year. We launched it in December last year, and so this year we've already got 45 schools and 3,000 students. So
awesome.
It's been a pretty big increase, and that's without really any heavy marketing. We're a little bit mindful that there is limited resources to support the teachers. So we're putting structures in place so that, we can make sure that as it does grow, that the teachers have that sort of network to make sure, and that the resources are reviewed before we go to the next level. At the same time, we're still building new resources. So there's another lot of 10 secondary modules coming on board. And some modules specifically for clubs as well, because we've had a lot of clubs wanting to get hold of these as well.
I just had a brainwave
awesome.
just to add to the whole depth of it. Stacey's just laughing already.
I thought I could hear something.
those days when the teacher's sick, and a substitute teacher comes in and they put the movie on, well, they could just play the back catalogue of Bar Karate, and we just
either that or a bit of
that's not it. That's not education.
either that Bicey or a rerun of Aussie Assault, one of the two.
Aussie Assault. Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's a really
you
good.
don't need to worry about your marketing either, Jess, because Bar Karate now you got to hang on for dear life after this.
They actually, the great thing is, I've heard teachers, say, I had to set a relief lesson, and I just set the whole lesson for them to watch SailGP. I'm like, that's great, well done. So if that's happening around the country, the Bonds Rouge should be pretty happy with that.
That's good.
Awesome, love it.
So what's this mean from a practical standpoint? So my daughter's going to go year 9 next year, year 8 next year, sits in a science lesson. How does it? What's that look
good question.
like?
So in every single school, it looks different. So you will get, maybe your daughter's school for her year 9, she might have a STEM subject as a timetabled subject where it could fit in. It might be called something like science extension or gifted and talented or an enrichment program. It can even be, put into a marine science program. So every school has actually, I'll go from one to another in a day, and they're all completely different.
I'm currently Bicey in the process of Kendra's about to go into year 11 next year, and she's doing her subject, her electives, and my God, has it changed? It is huge what you can do. The vocational, educational, tertiary, it's all practically driven, and that's what I guess this is aiming at, is giving these kids a practical knowledge base rather than what we used to have, which was science, art, PE, and maths and
detention.
English,
detention,
yeah, and if you're and failure.
If you were lucky, if it was windy, I was windsurfing.
Yeah. But that's
true. You're right. Well, that's why I chose sailing as my year 12, so I did okay.
But this is kind of what it's talking like from both Paige and Jess's perspective. This is what they're talking about by getting the kids involved into this early. Then maybe in year 12 we got a few kids nicking off to go falling or windsurfing, and because we built the base of sailors, and that's the whole.
I just learnt about hydrofoils. I'm going to go give this a go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I guess the way we've been growing it at the moment is trying to connect through the clubs that might be involved with schools already. Obviously, that's the low-hanging fruit. So, that connection, once they've done the school STEM curriculum, then you can make that connection back into that local sailing club, yacht club, and have that experience day. And where you might have, little Johnnies and Marys that'll come and experience what it's like to actually go and put that into practice.
Yeah, so there is that practical element. So, for example, if it was happening in a science class, you would say to them, your students have never been to your local sailing club. This is where it is, and this is the one that we recommend you go to, and then they go there for a whole day excursion, and they spend the day doing some STEM activities in the clubhouse, some radio control sailing, and some on water sailing. So we make sure that, as well as doing all the in-class modules, they do get that feeling of being in a boat, because there's nothing quite like it. And if we can make sure that that is part of it and that's affordable, so we make that day as low cost as possible, so that any school in Australia should be able to afford it.
This is super cool. I'm so into it. What about, can you just run through just some of the modules and how it works for different ages and different learning skills? Like, that's sort of a proper teacher question, I think. That might be.
Yeah, for sure. So in general, all of our modules are hands-on and inquiry-based. So they all start, so the STEM learning process is asking a question. So you need to think of what question do they want to solve, and we give them sort of the problem that they need to come up with. So, you're an America's Cup designer. Can you design a foil that's going to, do this, this, and this? And then we give them scaffolding along the way, but it's the STEM learning cycle. So they have to imagine, so they have to think of what are some of the ways that they can solve that problem. And then they plan. So what are they going to do to solve the problem? Create, let's build it. So then they start actually putting their hands on, putting their little, they might be building a sail car, for example, like a blow cart, but it's a little, mini version. Then they get to test it and see how it performs, and then they can make some improvements. And that improve, create, test, that's the innovation cycle. That's how even the America's Cup designers, innovators are actually still, improving their boats. So continuing to do that around and around, you can keep going as long as you want. We say just do that twice, then you do your analysis, and that's the end of that module. So some of the modules, for example, the first one is called Finding the Breeze for secondary school, and we talk through, first of all, what meteorologists do, how to read synoptic charts, why we, what types of instruments you use to measure the wind direction and speed, and then we go into getting them to build an anemometer, and designing and testing and getting data from that. They can actually get really, they can actually do some calculations and get from their RPMs into knots, and then they can actually compare their devices to a digital anemometer as well. So that's just the first module, for example. And each one is, we've kind of designed these really cool hands-on investigations that you are sort of holding the student's hand a little bit to make sure that I think that's the most challenging thing as a teacher nowadays, is when you're rushing through the curriculum, you tend to just push them along and make sure that they do the right thing. But STEM learning is all about letting them make the mistakes, because that's where they're going to make the biggest, learn the biggest lessons. So having the time in your STEM lessons is crucial. So I might get to a school and they've been on module 1 for like 4 or 5 weeks, and they're just loving it, because they're just able to keep, redesigning, or when they're like building mini
they've got
sail
the
cars.
open checkbook. They've got the open checkbook, you see.
Exactly. I went to a school the other day, and some 14 engineering students in year 11 were doing the principles of sail design, and they had built the coolest little land yachts. Obviously, they'd spent like all term doing it, and that's cool because the modules are so standalone that they can just go into one if they're loving it. And I say that to the teachers, don't rush them through. Just let them love it, because they're learning, even when you're trying to teach the principles of sail design, they're still learning about, so many other parts of the sport as well. So, yeah.
This is unreal, isn't it? Like, can you imagine being at school and this was your curriculum?
Oh, well,
there's zero chance of wag.
Yep.
It's kind of what I just said then with what my daughter's doing. It's the all of these courses are getting a lot broader, but this in particular, this sounds so wild. I mean, this is super cool.
So cool.
And Brett, I'm going to quote Jess here. We're pretty confident this is the most comprehensive STEM program from any sport definitely in Australia, probably in the
certainly
world.
an Olympic sport. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, there's so much to it. I mean, there's so many different elements of design. You know, like there's so many things to study on a boat. And
we are so lucky that our sport fits perfectly into STEM.
You imagine the weightlifting team working out how they're going to do STEM.
It's just all about how far the bar can bend and how much weight you can put on the end, right?
Formula One do have a really big STEM program, F1 in schools, which has been running worldwide for a long time. But this is, something really new. So a lot of schools have said, we've been doing this other one for so long. We love this new approach, and it's such a more sustainable, better looking sport, I believe, anyway. So, yeah.
Green.
It's wonderful. It's like that. What you're describing is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like one thing I wonder, and sorry for talking so much, guys, but with when I would go through the list of all the things people are learning, if the teachers have any issues, surely with our community, the sailing community, which is people that want to help, as like the Magenta Project's a classic example, their mentoring program. You could have a teacher mentoring program where you could just have a phone number and say, it's boat building, pick up the phone to Nick Bice, and then
that's a good idea.
Like if a teacher has a question, these are the people you reach out to. Yeah,
we've sort of got some, and that's
Bryce's head's going, this sounds cool.
I'm just imagining
a phone call at 3 a.m. in the UK.
The Professor Jordan Spencer calling for all your coaching problems.
Wow. I do have a couple of teacher friends, and a few of them ring me and ask me for ideas on mathematics and economic stuff, and humility as well. They want me to come up with ideas.
Oh yeah, of course.
The leader of that.
I might be able to talk about something I know this time. Anyway. But yeah, sorry, I just thought the mentoring program could work. And the other thing I want to say while I'm talking is, would you be interested if there are experts in the field, like we know, I think we talked about before the show, like a Nick Holroyd or Guillaume Verdier, the top designers in the world. And Mark Ilsey, just so I don't forget, I want to have some beers in Ireland with you, mate, don't worry. For all those sort of top great people, if they wanted to contribute, like if there was someone that's expert in the field, is that something that you're open to? Is that helping?
Yeah, definitely. All the time. And even having some, we like to use real world examples as much as we can in the and especially current, it's funny because we wrote a fictional design, an AC75 for Australia's next entry to the Cup. We did this in, last year, the end of last year. So now the actual, the whole module's sort of needing a little rewrite. But we're always trying to rewrite that to keep it current.
When's it going to production?
It's live.
What's
the AC boat design?
Yeah, exactly. I can show you a few pictures of some great ones from the kids, but it's interesting. So getting that in, I think, is going to really boost, especially for the schools next year, to see what's going on in the world, and keeping those, getting those. Even Glenn Ashby's said he will be an ambassador for SailLAB, which is incredible. And we've got a few spotlights on Glenn throughout our modules, and some other really, we call them Australian sailing heroes. And then one of the other things that we sort of found out over the pilot phase is teachers would say, and this goes back a little bit to what Mal was saying about, increasing the visibility of our sport. So a primary school might start SailLAB and they get into their weather module, finding the breeze or building animals, but the students actually still don't even know what sailing is. That is how niche our, sport is. So we've actually developed a pre-learning module called Ready to Launch, and that goes through all of the different, because there's so many disciplines in our sport, and to get students' head around the whole body of the sport and be able to understand all the heroes in ocean racing or match racing or America's Cup sailing and the history of the amazing history that we have. So that's been a really cool thing to have. So always keen to have, those spotlights on real world examples. And creating videos is sort of one of the next phases of the project, and doing some interviews.
Just looking at what it covers. Sorry, go on, boss.
Sorry.
I'm going to jump in.
Go on. Get in there.
Have you seen any difference in the interest between like boys and girls in the different subjects in the classroom?
Oh, well, you know the answer to that, Stace. No. Always, it's interesting that what it does, what I have noticed and what I've heard from teachers, and the weird thing is I find it really hard to not be in the classroom and see this happening firsthand because I'm writing it all. I'm not, immediately, I don't have my finger on the pulse as much as I would like, but I have to sort of trust that the teachers are doing a brilliant job, and I know they are. But the feedback I've been getting is that they, when especially the girls, when they go and do their experience day down at the yacht club, they're a heap more confident because they've already got it up here. And so their first day is actually, much more of a productive. They're less scared. They know exactly where the wind's coming. They've learnt points of sail in the classroom. And with that, radio control yachts is another really great teaching tool. And so I think it just, it does take away a lot of the barriers that we've had before.
That's really cool because this is the big gap, right? They're trying to close the number of male and female participants. So if you can start it at that level, this might be a solution for it.
And there's a huge push in Australia for women in STEM. So there's a lot of girls in STEM, special like excursions or incursions that universities run a lot of those as well. So we're looking at partnering with a couple of universities that they do outreach programs, and they'll take this to the school, or the school will come to them and do it, especially with the girls. So I think in terms of their overall engagement, it's just been, definitely big positive.
I'm looking at what it covers here, and it's almost like you could have separate subjects inside the actual syllabus because you've got so many different specialty areas. You know what I mean? The kids could choose this, or they could choose, navigation, or they could choose, hydro. They could choose aero.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff they could do.
There's over 100 hours.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know how much work's involved in writing it all up as well. So I'm sure it's like, wow.
And I think that's the thing. It's come from Australian sailing, but this really does create the opportunity for our whole marine boat loving community. The Navy needs recruitment. They could tag onto this as well. There's so many opportunities that'll spin off from this. We'll end up with more weather predictors. Working. Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll get it right. Brett, there'll be a whole generation that comes through that makes our sailors better.
I'm seeing it. I love it.
So I went through school and was pushed down the business side, right? So I didn't do any STEM. And in my current job, I'm talking about nothing but STEM with engineers, talking navigation, I'm talking composite structures, I'm talking weather, I'm talking like aerodynamics, hydrodynamics, electronics, really advanced stuff, right? I have to get involved in my current job, and I talk about it on a daily basis. And I'm 100% comfortable in every conversation because of my time as a sailor, my whole life around sailing. And so this is a really great idea because we do amazing things in our sport. Like, people, I don't know, you've all had this experience, like something goes wrong, you're in a car or a boat,
deal with it,
and you just go over and fix it. And people go, how do you know how to do that? And that's how I'm brought up. I just do things, and that's
you can use this as a quote. You can use this as a quote if you want, Jess, and I've used it a few times in my career. Love a shit fight. Can pick that.
Okay, I'll use that in one of the modules.
Is weather a module?
I could help write a bit of that stuff.
Meteorology and oceanography.
Yeah,
we've got sea breeze. We've got module 8, sea breezes and ocean currents, and in WA there's a course called, it's for year 11 and 12. It's called Marine and Maritime Science Studies. And that's become really popular. So we actually wrote a fairly massive module 8 of sea breeze and ocean current to help a lot of the teachers over there. Because as well, I remember when I was teaching, that comes into year 9 in the core science curriculum.
Yeah.
And I could never even find a good sea breeze diagram when I was teaching it to core year 9 science. So we actually got our graphics designers to make a really nice diagram in the SailLAB theme and everything. So, and that,
does the clouds have little faces? Like we used to have when we were kids?
Not for the secondary modules, but
for the primary.
For the primary, yeah. They can, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, another
as long
thing
as we're
from
keeping it real,
perspective is that this is like for students, but then a lot of this stuff would flow on to our training program, so the Yachting Australian Sailing Training Program, because you can actually tie this all together. So it's a very easy path to bring people into becoming better at learning our sport and doing that. So that'd be a pretty good thing for as well, Paige. Go on,
do you
Jess.
want to talk about?
Yeah.
There's a couple of key areas where we can actually leverage off this from a club point of view. We haven't specifically said to clubs, take all of these resources and go with it, because we've seen what happened in the US. Yep. And if originally the REACH program was made for schools, and then it's sort of, if without the drive to get it into the schools, it's the clubs will take it and it doesn't get the justice it deserves. So what we've done is we've created, the last few weeks I've created a set of 6 modules that are kind of like a blend of what we've got out in the school environment that clubs can pick up on a day that's maybe too windy, no wind. And the main areas, the great option there is also to have the radio control sailing, because that just opens the doors to a lot of cool as well social activity, getting kids that are better with their thumbs rather than active.
A whole new generation of twiddlers. Awesome.
Exactly. At least though they're outside and they're competing and they're learning the sport. And that, we find that with the teachers when we do a teacher professional development day, if we do the radio control sailing and then go sailing, they actually have learned a huge amount in 1 hour. Their knowledge of the sport, they've got all their points of sail, how to trim the sails, the forces, they've got it all. They just have to actually then learn the practical.
Sounds like we're learning from this as well, like how we teach our sport and how we grow our sport. This is amazing.
And I guess I was going to say, if there's anybody out there that obviously has a person in a school that they think that we need to contact, I think that's, please reach out to Australian Sailing. We'll help make that connection and see if we can get this STEM into the school. And when it comes to the remote, the RC boats, we're trying to keep a stock of about 6 in each Australian Sailing office around the country. So if a club or something wants to run a day with a school or so on, we can help provide that to make it happen. And then, with time, hopefully everyone can make that investment and get it going.
Friday afternoons will be good, wouldn't they, At the office. Righto, knock off, let's go.
And a lot of schools have pools as well, or they have a water body nearby, so they can actually just drop them in the lesson. And it just takes out all of the time they needed to go to the yacht club and do some practical. So if they can get more sort of bang for their buck and they can, drive this, it actually does help their practical sailing program as well. So you might get a primary school that does the six primary modules, and then they might do 4 or 6 practical days on top of that, because they can justify that they've been able to do like a 10 or 12 week program because our part is free. They've been able to do all of that in just for the cost of the club.
We sort of touched on it a bit ago about how you're getting the word out. I mean, how are you doing that? How are schools going? Are they just hearing about it, or are you just cold canvas selling to a select group of schools and letting it grow generically? Is that sort of how it's happening?
Organic growth at the moment, because or not a little bit. I've been out and about in terms of, we do some key networking in teacher sort of STEM networks. So for example, I was just at Canasta, which was in Brisbane, for the week at the convention centre there, which is all of the Australian science teachers from across the country. They come there for the week and they learn about new programs. And so I was able to be there presenting for that week, and I'll go to say for the equivalent state ones of those in all the states. And then there might be some special STEM networks or marine teacher conferences or networks that I'll go and present at as well. So they're the sort of one-on-one meetings, but generally if we did a social post, media post, and we put the link to the website, that'll take them to the EOI, which they fill out. And from that, I just have a 30-minute Teams meeting and say, here, like, I learn about how, the questions they might have and the landscape of their school, and I'll give them some advice as to how it would best fit for them.
This is amazing. I'm just thinking, team, imagine how much our report cards would have improved. You could just see the report card.
Well, I will, if you don't mind, just go through my report card. I think it was PE 60%, art 60%, maths fail, science fail, English fail, sailing 100%. Yeah. I actually got 100%.
For me, I did marine studies, which was the closest thing we had to this program, and we in grade 7 primary school, and we went to the sailing club that I taught sailing at to learn how to sail. So I got an A on my report card.
There you go. Yes, so you're like me, Stace. So proud of that. So proud of that A, the distinction.
I love that. This is some great.
They always say follow what you do well at, at school, and I think we did that.
Yeah. And so when do you expect to see a increase in participation in sailing from the SailLAB?
Exactly. So the tricky thing is being able to, we've got to really make sure that we can track that. And across the world, similar programs have a very difficult way of tracking that participation growth. So one of the things that we will be doing is whenever the students do their SailLAB experience day at the sailing club, it is super important that they get given an AS number at that day through the registration process, which is free. But if that student gets the AS number when they go and do their Learn to Sail course, and that's a really huge opportunity for a club to market and to say, here you've done SailLAB, you've done your SailLAB experience day, here's 20% off for our next Learn to Sail course or something like that on the school holidays. And then hopefully from there we can then track that they've done a Learn to Sail course, they've done this, they've done that, and then, they're sort of moving through the pathway.
So cool.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it, because you can actually maybe even have an AS number with a link or that actually says that's where they've come from. Yeah.
Yeah, you can use RevSport to track to show that they've been through SailLAB. So that's a really pretty nowhere else in the world is doing that in terms of the tracking. So we're leading the way in that part of it.
Can I just ask how safety is treated in this? Like, do you do a module on safety, or is there safety in each module, or how? Because obviously our sport can be dangerous, and how we approach safety in our sports. That's part of our
good question. Yeah. So we look at, obviously, we want to try and highlight the fact that our sport is now really fast and exciting, and we foil and we fly and those sorts of things, because that's what the kids love learning about, and they love seeing the crashes and they love that side of it. So we've put a lot of that in. Unfortunately, not Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds video for him on the, it's got the F-bomb in it twice or three times, so we can't use it. But, that's the sort of thing we want to show. But in terms of safety, so there's a module that we've just built on helmet design and how that's, they use a hard-boiled egg as a head, for example, and they look at different ways of controlling the forces, and we scale that in the same way that you would do as in a crash at 100k an hour, for example. So there's that sort of safety, and we go through all of the safety that they're wearing on the SailGP and the tethering systems, and that's just the one element. There's not really any other. Just trying to think of any other safety parts in the
reason
curriculum.
I sort of brought it up is a couple of weeks ago we talked to John
Chris.
Schaefer. And we talked about he safety is second. He was just talking about how you approach the pathway to safety, and it was different. And I just like that as a discussion. So one of the things that's coming to me,
especially some of the technology that's behind safety these days. That opens up another avenue. Good, maybe it's another module coming here.
Well, one of the things,
the bar karate safety module.
Yeah.
The only issue you need, though, if you're doing the going back to Jess's point about the hard-boiled egg, if they were doing your head, Jordan, it would have to be an emu.
But
it takes some impact, those emu eggs too, though. That's got some thick bloody exoskeleton on it.
One of the good things about this conversation is it's clearly, apart from taking the piss out of Jordan, is that it's really evident that this is a brilliant idea. It's a brilliant program, but there's also the potential for learning back to us. And it looks like, the way, one thing is from our sport looking at safety differently. So maybe we could learn from that. That was what sparked my thought. That was all. Just so, yeah.
I was just, you were just talking before about the disengaged, when you're at high school. And I had this really great email come in from a teacher at Christchurch Grammar in WA, and he has a group of Year 11, I think he has about 20 Year 11 disengaged students, and I'll just read you his quote. So he said, "We are 2 weeks into the SailLAB course now, and it has been incredibly well received. This particular class have low motivation and behavioural difficulties across all their other classes. They also had no prior interest in sailing, but they have been loving the lessons so far. Well done on creating such a great concept and course. I will be trying to promote and recommend the program across other schools." So a big part of that is also the word of mouth. So if you have the lead teacher at somewhere like Christchurch Grammar in WA promoting it, we've already seen 5 or 6 more schools in that area pick it up.
So here's the solution to this. This is what we'll challenge our listeners to do. And this is how we can help, right? Because this is a great idea. And I think any parent listening to this is going, "You beauty, this is a great thing." What we should do, and I know I'll do it, I'm going to be doing it Monday, is we should take it to a teacher and get them to listen to this episode, and then so they can understand, because you've explained it, Jess, beautifully. Like this is apart from us idiots talking, but if everyone just spread this out amongst the teaching community, that would be, I'm sure it would spark something, and that's how we do this.
And Jordan, it's a really good timing. Let's say coming in the back half of this calendar year. Because this is when schools are going to be looking at for programming coming next year.
Yeah.
So our opportunity is just ahead of us now. So that's awesome.
For any of you teachers that have been pulled on and you're listening, all the work's done for you. And you just get to teach a fantastic course that looks like everyone's enjoying. I mean, we could raise hands. Who would have enjoyed this at school? Yeah, we might be a little bit biased. None of you can see us all got our hands up. But so, yeah, maybe that's that's our challenge to our listeners. We've never put a challenge out to the listeners, but yeah, I think we could actually achieve something here. And then to our sort of some of the top end of the sailing world, if you want to reach out to Australian Sailing, if you want to contribute in some way, if you think you could actually add something genuinely, maybe come out to Australian Sailing. There you go. Community service done. Nice. Bar Karate delivers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
Again.
You're welcome.
I can't remember the other time, but anyway.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. One question is, obviously you've mentioned SailGP, talked about America's Cup, Ashby putting up his hand to jump in. These are fantastic things. So I'm assuming you can theme it, as a teacher, you can theme it around like a major event. So we know the Cup's about to start off, and so it's designed to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, the first 10 modules are really have an underlying America's Cup theme, because that was the legacy project from WA. And then the second set modules have a SailGP sort of, we call it a STEM in context. So they, we can bring it into the real world. But saying that, we do put in the Olympic classes as well throughout them. Obviously coming into the 2028 Games, we're also targeting a lot of the Olympic pathway schools in Australia through the AOC connections. So there's lots of different sort of ways to engage.
And then next year you could have a class follow the ocean race as well.
Of course, yes. They have some really great resources, really awesome. I did look at those when I was doing my initial planning, and there was a lot of that element, their sort of resource design and structure that I liked. They don't go so much into STEM; they're more focused on the civic science and the sustainability piece. But such a brilliant resource, and I think that's something that. Yeah, following that race would be great for the students to do as well. We're trying to work into trying to get some VR as well into the next set of modules, which is.
So there's Boise and I have just we were early on into VR. I'll tell you the story offline, but it's very funny. But anyway, sorry.
All right.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But there is a resource from the Volvo Ocean Race era from about maybe 3 or 4 editions ago, where a young whippersnapper by the name of Nick Bice did a whole video on the power of Crocs in the offshore racing world. Do you remember that one, Bice?
Well, it's probably not as educational as people want to create a module on why Crocs offshore work. But shit, I've banged on about it for ages.
I love it. Yeah. Cool. So from a perspective, we sort of plugged it already, but if people want to reach out, so what's the best way, Paige? Like, is it direct to Australian Sailing, or
you can log on to our resources page. You'll see SailLAB there. You can get onto that. But obviously, you can find all our email addresses online too. So just get in contact with us, and we'll spin the wheels and make it happen. There's only a few of us in Australian Sailing, so we're not hard to find.
Yeah. Jess, you've got a youngster, haven't you? So are you ready?
I've got two youngsters.
Two youngsters. Are you ready?
5 and 8.
Okay, so the 8-year-old sailing, I'm assuming? They're both sailing?
Yeah. Actually, my little 5-year-old, she's more keen than my son. But yeah, they're both sailing. Yeah.
I just imagine that, in their classes they could be doing this program, and it'd be really fun as you're at the next 8-year-old birthday party hearing the parents talk about this program. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I actually went and did a year 2 lesson for my son's class on because it's actually buoyancy's in the year 2 curriculum in WA. So I went in and did hull design, taught them hull design in year 2. They loved it, and they did this massive. It was so much fun. So yeah, you can really scale it to any year.
A4 bit of paper,
A4 piece of paper. So I've got a. It's an ongoing joke of bar karate. If you take an A4 piece of paper and fold it in half and hold the front end, you've got a hull design. And
Yeah.
And so it's as simple as that, and then you can evolve from there.
16-foot skid.
Yeah, Bicep doing it. There
Yeah, there it is.
That's the 16. It is.
Sorry.
Dear. All right. I think. Is there anything else we need to discuss on this matter? Have we missed anything critical?
I reckon it's bloody good.
Yeah, we're
apart from it, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. And I am on a mission this week at school pickups. So
sell the dream.
Watch out.
What I can do.
I was at Hunters Hill Sailing Club last night for their annual fundraising night, and I had a guy sitting next to me. His kids are going to Newington School there in Sydney, one of the private schools. He's like, rowing is so boring. I've got to get SailLAB into my school for my kids.
Yep. I love it.
And I'm at Mara's sister's Catholic, which has got 6 lasers sitting down in a shed down in the bottom of the right on the Lane Cove River there. So you know, just sitting there.
Yep.
So anyway, that's how we roll.
I think a lot of schools, as you say that, I think a lot of schools that I have been speaking with in Sydney since I've relocated here, their numbers are declining in their school sailing program, and this is definitely a way to boost that back up.
Huge point. I was just about to say, I reckon that's why, because it's go down to the shed, get the boats on the dock, push them in the water, get in the water, put the wetsuit on, then go sailing and blah, blah,
Find
blah.
out that something's broken or missing. And
Yeah. I mean, this is that is exactly true. It's exactly what my daughters say as well. They never use them.
And but we've all had this discussion, all of us. I know. I think I've had it with every single one of you. Is that sailing is like the best educator a kid can do. You know, like it teaches you work skills, it teaches you life skills, it teaches every sort of skill that you need to be. And so we desperately want to see the sport grow. Congratulations, Paigey, because one of the things that everyone wants with Australian sailing is to grow the base of the triangle. You know, everyone talks about Australian sailing focuses on the elite, but this is a clear demonstration that we're trying to grow the base. Australian sailing's putting in the effort. This is a great program, Jess. So you and the people that came up with it, you know, it's awesome. Just it's so cool. It's such a cool thing. I'm jealous that I'm not a kid right now.
Yep.
Well, a physical kid, not a mental kid. I'm fine there. But
we can start bar karate school maybe for all us oldies. Jess, you got a job.
Another idea.
Oh.
Whack it in the ideas
There
box.
might be a couple of F-bombs. We'll be able to show Ryan Reynolds' video.
Well, that's just the clientele, Bicey. You see, it's really easy you can manage your clientele. You know, that's it.
No, excellent.
bloody
So
awesome.
cool.
Yep.
Well done.
Well,
That's
congratulations,
unbelievable.
team.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing it getting rolled out. Stand by, St. Michael's College. Here we come.
Yeah. Good on you. Well done.
Awesome.
All I can say is I wish I was still at school. How much fun would this be? Might have focused a little bit harder if I had a subject like SailLAB.
Can you imagine? Like, seriously, can you imagine?
Well,
like, you're exactly right, Stace.
As I sort of said, I did get a very, very good score for sailing. Can you get 200% for a lesson?
See why you failed maths.
Exactly right. No, but it's exactly what you say, Stace. But it's also the way that the whole education system seems to be going, and the timing for these guys seems to be perfect. But on top of that, the curriculum is interesting. When you hear the story of the school with the naughties who generally don't have the attention span. I mean, I've been there and done that, and having these kids on a boat. I mean, they do get it. They actually enjoy it, and they just stop being naughty for an hour and a half. You know, and the course seems to be getting that sort of sort of response.
And what's really cool
just
is
a bit of a a bit of an insight to the listener. Sorry, Stace.
It's like we're in different
For
time
the
zones.
listener, on what goes on behind the scenes here at Bar Karate. Soon as Jess and Malcolm left, I think 3 of us said, "How effing cool's that?"
The new tagline for SailLAB.
Effing cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Good on, Stace. You were saying?
What it's really highlighted in sailing is, we talk about all the different areas of sailing, like dinghies or yachts or offshore or one design. But then actually, if you look at the list, there's, all the design, meteorology, sail design, sail trim, the list goes on and on. So I think it's really opened up the sport for so many more people.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, do you think that SailLAB could have something for nutrition in it?
Oh, maybe, yeah. I think that might, that sort of might be covered anyway, but Australian Sailing does do nutrition in some of their training, actually. So, yeah, why not? I know where you're trying to throw me to, BP, and I really appreciate that. But I won't take the throw just yet, because I do want to say one critical thing. For the listeners out there, that challenge, so all you have to do, tell your teacher friends, listen to Bar Karate, the sailing podcast, episode 370, right? So that's the trick. Just tell them 370, and get them in. And now...
Nice one.
Yep, so that's all, and then we can do that. And from your throw, BP, it's a really clever way to try and get me out there. But what I was thinking is, I noticed that one of the team is selling a falling moth at the moment, and I was just thinking how good the Radix would be, because if you're trying to build for peak performance and want something that's made for every day as well, it's faster, simpler and healthier. Radix started where nutrition is non-negotiable, and trying to sail a moth and be as good as the standard, a bit of Radix Nutrition is definitely the pathway. So if you jump onto their website, Radix Nutrition, and you want to put an order in, you'll get a discount on us. Just use Bar Karate as your discount code, or you could just, what were you going to say, Stacey? You want to plug the...
I might need to bulk up on Radix, so I'm big enough for the moth, but until then I'll sell it.
Yeah, you've got a cut down rig, I think, at the moment. Are we big enough for the moth? Is too big?
Guys, help me out here.
Well, where do we start, Dicey?
Someone cut in over the top of me now.
The contender...
Great opportunity, Stace.
Go ahead.
The contender guys, we gave them a little plug for their worlds. We put their video, the Adelaide Worlds at Brighton Seacliff, and gave it a little plug on the Facebook side. And so there's been a bit of Bar Karate banter on the contender site, and somebody's asking, I think Niall Kinch asked me, when am I getting my boat? And I said, I haven't got a boat yet. And somebody's come on and said, well, you're going to have to cut the leech short on the main, because you won't get under the boom with that head of yours. And so it's on. Contender fleet's ripping the shit out of me. So good on them. Appreciate it.
Hopefully with your plug for my moth, I'll have a bidding war going on for it soon.
Yeah, no, it's a cracker. It's only,
whilst we're at it, if anyone wants to buy a Sharpie, give us a call.
We could do like a 2-for-1 deal or something.
It sounds like we're launching our own classified page.
I loved your comment.
Haven't you got an actual somewhere as well, Bicey?
Oh, fuck. Got an actual as well. Got about that.
Camper van?
No, not selling that stuff.
I liked your
comment though, Jordan.
What's that?
Limited use. We're not putting Sharpie up. Which you're exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Start of nationals.
That's it. That's it. And if you are wanting to sail more because you're wasting so much time doing other work like I do, where you don't go sailing, or if you're in a marine business and you get most of your work from reputation or word of mouth, but you feel like you're missing out on leads and not following up fast enough, then disruptormarinemarketing.com.au is the system that fixes that. So if you jump on to Disruptor, DISRUPTA, they'll install a 24/7 AI receptionist, or as we call the buy spot, and you won't miss a call or an inquiry again. And so they can set you up a referral system. It'll double your referred leads within 60 days, or you don't pay. So it's a great one. 30-minute free demo, and you can see if it will work for you. There's no pressure, so just have a look at it and see if it works. And then, Disruptor Marine Marketing, go do more sailing. Perfect.
Perfect.
Disruptormarinemarketing.com.au. Doesn't matter if you're based anywhere in the world, it'll work. So, yeah. All right. Good work. Good banter. Love it. Speaking of good banter, team, I see, Stace. I'm concentrating on not saying boys. I really am. So pull me up anytime, guys, boys. Right. So
super hard, isn't it?
no, it's just old habit.
Yeah.
We got 30 days till the start of the Golden Globe race. Team skippers heading to Les Sables d'Olonne for the solo non-stop unassisted around the world sailing challenge. But it's more than that, isn't it? It's more than that. You have to sail on a boat that was it can't be. I don't think it can be longer than like 36 feet, and it's got to have been designed before 1988. And there's no electronic navigation. There's no grid files. You've got to use a sextant, and you got
so everything that's in SailLAB, forget about it.
And having done what I've just done, I just don't see any interest in that. For me, it's not my kettle. What do you call it? Cup of tea.
It is an interesting one, isn't it? It's the Don. We have plenty of banter.
We could maybe get the Don back on once they are setting off again, just to get a bit of the vibe. What's going on?
The Don is good.
So what is it? I'm just trying. They go. I think there's a gate at Tasmania. Actually, team. I think they actually come in. Like it's all under all the 5 capes. It's non-stop.
You'd think they'd make it Kangaroo Island for a brisket.
Oh, BP. See, this is where the Don's fallen down. They should make it Kangaroo Island for a brisket. It's a great idea.
Words out.
Drop the pick off.
She should be cooked by then. When do they start? In a month's time?
Yeah.
She'll be in the slow cooker for about 8 months.
They start 6th of September. Yeah, it'll be in for a long while.
Just put it on really low heat. It'll be fine.
There's more to it. I've just remembered. I was looking for the map. Obviously, you just sail around the world and head back, but Les Sables d'Olonne. And there's definitely a gate up in Tassie. The boats are pre-1988 are pre, but they're a full-length keel with a rudder attached to the back of the keel. That's another one of the requirements, right?
Bilge keel.
Yeah, exactly. Things, yeah. And I think you have to carry a hammer and hit yourself in the head with it for the whole way around, because it does. That is challenging. I mean, he likes a slow boat, the old Don. But anyway, there's a bunch of people doing it. Stace, would you do that?
Well, I was just thinking 57 days felt like a long time around the world. And I can't imagine that number's going to be anywhere near what they're doing. Maybe put a 2 in front of it.
I was going to say, put a 2 in front of that. You're probably getting around about the ballpark.
But you're not going to
that's way too long. No, sorry.
You're not going to get all the weather predictions.
No, stop talking.
You're not going to know what's coming, it's
your birthday.
Ned.
Your kid's birthday, your kid's first day at school, you're going to miss that. You're going to miss the sports carnival. You're going to just miss it all.
Oh, dear. The other event I think we should plug, and I'm very happy to plug this one because it's such a lovely email.
This is a good one, this one. I've had a bit of banter with this one.
Yes, you should get down to it. So are you happy for me to read the BP or do you want to do it, buddy?
I'm going to go and do the wet. I'm going to sail on the wetter.
Yeah, I think you should. That'd be fun.
I'm going to be the king sausage sizzler and a wetter sailor.
Beauty. So the email from Stephen Watt says, "Hi chaps." Love that for a start.
And Stacey.
And the standard.
Well, I guess I'm still not on the email, so I guess he isn't talking to me.
No. Well, we'll put you on. There is one coming up, Stace. You'll be very happy. Right. Now I've lost my place. Where are I? Right. Hi, chaps.
Hi, chaps.
And Stacey.
That's where you got to.
Would you be able to give us a plug for the upcoming Sail Illawarra at Port Kembla Sailing Club last weekend in November? We've run the event for many years as the Kembla Classic, but have rebranded it to make it sound more sexy as Sail Illawarra. It's also been expanded to include what I think is a unique event in sailing, the Norfix technology-sponsored time trial as a sort of novelty event. Yes, I think this is a great idea, with prize money. To encourage competitors to turn up early on Friday afternoon rather than Saturday morning, the time trial will run between 3:30 and 6:30 in the afternoon. You pick the time to do your lap. Times are corrected by yardstick. Winner pockets 250, second 100 and third 50. Withdraw to the bar to do some karate and eat pizza. Saturday and Sunday are traditional fleet racing days, 5 races, off the beach dinghies, cats, lots of fun to be had, barbecue dinner Saturday, more karate. So far we have Sharpies, Wetters and Paper Tigers using the event as their states. In the past we've had fleets of falling moths, F-18s, Narcras, Herons, NS-14s and the rest. Entries are limited to 70. Notice of race on the club website. So portkemblasailingclub.com.au or pksc.com.au. Competitors can elect to do the time trial only on Friday for 25 entry, or it's included in the whole weekend of fun for 95, including free camping at the club. That's a good one, hey? That sounds like fun. BP, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good one. If I'm around, I'm going to get down there.
Maybe I can do a deal with the new owner of my moth. I'll drive it down for them if they.
Wow. I was thinking it's got everything I like, Sharpies and camping.
Exactly. So, boys, you can bring the Sharpie over to somebody from the region. Stace, you could bring the moth down. Obviously.
I think we all know what boat I'm actually going to do it in.
Rainbow.
The Rainbow, of course. Exactly.
I knew that.
I love it.
I was thinking we could get some data for SailLAB from the Rainbow program.
Oh yeah, good point.
Just whilst we were all concentrating on you reading that that email, Jordan, I took a screenshot and I'll send it to you guys. But the way I've got you two set up is side by side, you and Stacey side by side.
Oh, the head.
And is exactly cuts your head straight in half, Jordan. And cuts Stacey's head straight in half.
Yep, I know where you're going.
Your foreheads are at the exact same position, and your chin comes to about Jordan's nose, Stacey.
I just wish, we were doing this on WhatsApp. I wish you could sort of put your head up and go into the other screen. That would be funny too.
Yeah. All right. Enough picking on me. So for Jack Lloyd Listener of the Week, we've had a bit of a taper off. It's presented by our friends at Vycobi, a couple of $100 worth of gear. So I'm not sure why people have sort of tapered off. We saw some great discussion around Vycobi with what colour and logo should be on their Spinnaker, on the 18 for next season. That was good. We've had some good correspondence going from Peter Gibbons-Neff talking about his new Mini 650, the full foiling carbon job. We've been seeing all the updates, Pete, and we'll reach back out, but it's looking good. So that's been fun. But we've got a good email here, and we're holding, if you want to win the Vycobi gear, just come up with something as good as this. So, mate, Dave Well, BP, friend of the show. Yes.
Oh yeah. Still remember the day he won the prize and he was on the balcony. Oh shit! He's out the front.
It's hilarious. So here, right. Hey, legends. I know I'm not in the running for Listener of the Month, but because he's already won it, just re-listen to this week's episode with Cole. What a hoot! Yep, thought I'd give it a second listen. I'm sure my fellow road users thought they were driving adjacent to a lunatic, laughing manically in traffic on the Anzac Bridge. I've had a bit on these last few months, and damn it, that laugh was welcome. The pedestal up to the boobs, BP blushing at the mention of genitals, Cole's general badassery. How good is our sport? Geez, I'm pumped to go sailing. He used a different word. Cole's journey and level of enthusiasm have just got me so amped for Hamo Race Week and Magnetic Island Race Week. I say to whoever will listen that I prefer sailing on boats with women on board. The yachts we're on, women being on them, lifts the tone, even if it's just the jokes. These are not positions for timid women, however. The standards, Stacey's of sailing, know that yachts can be shouty places with a fair measure of ego. The general discourse is often such that the simple act of shouting in the heat of the moment can be misconstrued. A sturdy constitution is required, and I hope the staunch women of our sport feel appreciated. It ain't easy, but damn, it's fun. I'm heading up to do the 2 regattas on the TP52 Quest, currently based in Cairns. Hopefully I'll manage to have a couple of icy beverages with BP and Uncle Bradshaw. Have been thinking extensively about the safety episode. Great programs, general results in great outcomes. The phrase green light fever resonated with me. Jesus, I've sailed on yachts that have succumbed to that. I wonder now if I would step off those yachts at the dock or stay aboard. We're all just going racing, but at what cost? Always as friends, love the show. Interesting range of banter there. What did you think in the way he positioned the women folk? I think the sport's open to all women, Stacey. Do you think that it's...
I don't think you have to be staunch.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I do it quite well when I need to, but,
yeah.
It's, yeah. Guys, are you here?
Look, I mean, I'm a bit tired of the discussion in reality. Like, just everyone, it's the sport when everyone can go sailing together. So I think it's fantastic, and we love it. So I feel, Stace, you must be exhausted. Like, you and Bias have just done so much sailing in the last few days, weeks.
I did a little bit less just recently than I intended on doing, but yeah. So 3 offshores back to back, which was, it was a good little tour actually for me. Yeah.
What was it? I've got to ask about a steering pedestal was it the steering pedestal or steering the belt?
No, the rudder.
The rudder pedestal. Right.
Quite difficult to sail a yacht without one.
A rudder?
Yeah.
Well, I can
Interesting.
I can account for that.
I needed you there, BP. I needed you to MacGyver for me.
MacGyver. Get the bag out, the bag of tricks.
Right. All right. Well, we'll touch on that in I was going through everything. I was going to say episode, but it's not an episode.
That's all, folks.
And in a piece that we like to call...
Hey!
It's hot time with Bice.
We'll let him lead this discussion.
There was a bit of hot time going on in Cows, let me tell you.
Bet there was.
Because it was. Mate, it's been the summer that just keeps giving in the UK.
Oh, my God.
Arrived here. When did I get here? 2 weeks ago.
The
Not
day
a
I
drop
left,
of rain.
So, yeah?
Not a drop of rain. Hose pipe ban, as they call it, everywhere. So everything's brown as, dead as. But the yachting was sensational.
Awesome.
It's, I'm going to say it, the Solent can probably be one of the best places to go yachting when they turn it on. You've got everything. You've got wind, you've got tide, you've got
channel markers.
Like courses, you've got channel markers, you've got Brambles Bank, you've got everything. You got
John Green of Cows.
Bloody good. So
it
awesome
is the
stuff.
regatta that channel markers rule, isn't it? Let's be honest. Like, it's just, there's never Cows without somebody wrapping something around a channel marker, is there?
Well, definitely not. But there's never a Cows where someone doesn't explain when you go past the channel marker that it looks as though it's doing about 6 knots. Yeah. Oh, no, they motor around.
Yeah. That channel marker's flaming.
As the sandbanks move, these just move around with them as well.
Oh, it's incredible. It is incredible.
But I guess 650 boats or something. I mean, not a Cows Week has been in the past, but Jesus, not bad. 650 boats. Pretty cool.
I do want to step in here and say one thing. The overall winners of Cows Week. Now, from what I'm just going, so it was Dave King.
You're going to go through all the classes?
No, the overall winner for the whole week.
Okay, Stace Bice, we'll see you later.
No, just listen. The overall winner for the whole of Cows Week, so all 600 whatever boats, was David King, Nick Froud, and Phil Lawrence. Bicey.
Phil Lawrence.
That's right.
Congratulations,
Filthy Phil.
Yeah, well done. But the other winners, just worth mentioning quickly, the Bo Jest and up against the Eno Veritas. So with James Neville's new boat, ex-Hooligan, Ding Dong Battle. Gav took it out on the Bo Jest against them in preparation for Admiral's Cup next year.
Yep.
And I think those two boats are heading into the shop actually to get all sorts of upgrades and changes and ballasts and rudders and all sorts of shit going on. So be interesting.
Are you doing Admiral's Cup next year, Stace? You got any whispers yet? Anything you want to reveal?
Maybe not just yet.
Okay. No, cool.
Standing by.
Didn't hear it first on Barker.
And then, fortunate enough, I was on this as part of the Standfast team. So big shout out to Tank and Simon for a great week. But Callisto just got us in the end. It was down to the last race between us and Callisto, and they just sailed, had a better day on the last day and beat us by a point. But
Callisto by a nose.
Super cool.
1 point in it.
Callisto by a nose.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then we could go through all the other classes, but we'll be here for 8 hours.
Fabulous.
I think you just got to say well done to all.
Cows turned it on. Good fun. Good fun.
Well done yourself, mate. We saw, and they even did a little video feed with you, just talking about what.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, saw that. So, you're high profile.
High profile. Gave away 200 Southern Spars hats. So,
thanks.
Yeah. Thanks. So the ambush marketing is going well.
No coffee cart this regatta?
No coffee cart. Coffee cart will be back for Maxi Worlds, and as will another 1,000 hats. So stand by.
Very cool.
So it's a bit of shutdown. August now. Copa del Rey's just finished.
Yep.
And then things start firing up again in September in this part of the world. Copa del Rey, what happened there? That was 52s dominated in the.
Voodoo took the win.
Voodoo, another old hooligan, actually, that boat. With Prince or the King of Spain in second. And then in the smaller boats, just bringing it up now, where I've just lost it. That was my mistake.
I can do it. So this is ORC, just for everyone listening. So Nola, I think was Nola, then Ran, and then Garm. So Ran,
which was interesting. I mean, this is probably the first regatta Ran hasn't been top of the podium for quite a long time. So, which was interesting. And the Nola, I believe that's the sister ship to the Callisto that just won Cow. So the car kicks are going well.
Yeah. So it was in the ORCA, car kick 40, car kick 40 second, then the GP 42 third, GP 42 fourth, and then into the Swans. So that's interesting. Very interesting. Cool.
But I like just going back to ORC 0. Like you look through the TP 52, ORC 50. Like there's 10 TP 52s there.
Everyone's got a TP 52.
Another great bit of racing. Well, apart from the Super Series stuff. And that's what Gavin and Bo Jest and Eno Veritas. So, cool boats.
Cool boats.
Good stuff.
No doubt. Very cool. What else?
What else being? Early Beach. Or Hamo coming up. So
Early Beach has just started. Early Beach has just started, yep. So they're up there enjoying the band.
Enjoying the band.
And why aren't you there, BP? Don't you? You're a bit of an early beach type of guy.
Well, I've done it a few times. No, we've bush got the truck. I'm in Mackay, and we're about to put the boat together to take it over to Hamo. So our focus is Hamo this year.
Oh, there you go.
Hamilton Island Race
I
Week
could see something
internationals.
Yeah, I was just thinking. So BP, you're going to let the guy who plays the guitar at the pub there at Early Beach, you're going to let him have
Magnums. I might let him play a bit. I haven't done any practice. Although I was on the plane this morning thinking about what songs. I was thinking about my repertoire.
Oh,
For the listeners, I managed to get up on stage and steal the guy's guitar and pump out a few numbers, and it went down a treat.
I do want to say, everyone talks up Hamo, but I'm a massive fan of Airlie. I love Airlie.
Airlie Beach is I often refer to Airlie Beach as the Sailors Regatta.
I agree. It's so cool. If the organisers of Airlie Beach want us to come up,
I think the owners love Hamilton.
Yeah, owners love Hamo.
Of it, but I think Airlie Beach, you can go into that tent, and it's the sand, the beach is just it's just dirty. You wear your thongs, your flip-flops, and your feet get dirty, and it's great fun.
Yeah.
But it's been pumping, right? The trades are fully cranking.
Yeah, it is. It's well, as I said, I'm in Mackay now, and I'm like 50 miles from Hamo, which is about 50 miles from Airlie, and it was a honking southeasterly today. Yeah.
I think that might be the end of the wind for them for the week, though.
Yeah, I was going to say next week it'll be like shut down.
Usual.
Shut down.
Five knots of tide through Dent Passage.
There's about 20 different classes at Airlie, so we won't go through the results.
It's still on, so
yeah, too long.
Next week.
And speaking of weather when it's not normally like this, which is probably about to happen at Hamo, but the international cadets getting a bit of social media coming through from some of my Aussie and Adelaide mates. Good times, but crazy place.
Yeah. I saw Tony Bulls post,
the
coach, who's Sarmaker from down in Victoria, old Mr. Bull, and he was saying that there's a wind that hits about twice a year, and they got it twice in the week of the Cadet World.
Exactly.
Sounded like
plenty of photos of boats upside down.
Video, wasn't it?
Yeah, Newkin.
Yeah,
but because I think the Aussies were 5 points up going into the last day, but it looks like the Ukrainian pairing of David, Giltilev and Katrina Butenko have taken the win. They've had a good last day. I'm always happy to see Ukrainians do well. I've got to be honest, but the Aussies in second and third, I noticed, and fifth. But yeah, that was a pretty intense looking bit of Lake Garda. You don't see it like that often, do you?
No,
don't see it like this. Never seen it like this before.
Never like this before.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Cool. What else has been happening?
I noticed that the team. The 11 meters, the 11-meter world aftershock team had the win there.
Yeah.
So
well done,
Macca and Tommy Spithill.
Yeah, Macca there, Mark Griffith and Malcolm Richardson.
Spare parts.
Yes,
spare parts. Yeah, he was holding something in his hand. He had a sign saying, "Boise, what's this for?" What does this do? Yes, that was the 11-meter world. So they had a big fight, big last day. Actually, they were battling it out with the Hungarians apparently. So they enjoyed that sailing. I think it was in Norway, wasn't it?
Correct.
Have interest. So
I think Tommy would be a good guest to give us a little recap on their regatta.
I think Katie's more interested. I think I've had comms from Katie, it's time. Maybe you even told me that, young Stace, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom could be fun.
Be the race.
We could get both of them on. Get both of them on together.
As long as we don't put Jimmy on, because we've left him out for so long.
Oh, we haven't left him out. Get out of it. This bloody media company won't let us anywhere near him.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, happy days is the word. But congratulations for them. But yeah, going to Northern Europe and taking on.
Hey, good show, eh?
Oh yeah, good show. Anything else, Stace, for you? Having to put up with all of us?
Yeah, no, it's been great. It was good to have Jess on.
It was good to have Jess on.
I thought you were going to say it's good to have Bicey back.
What's your name?
No, thanks, Stace. Yeah, no, good to see you.
The new bloke, Stace, the new guy.
Oh, have you been here the whole time?
She's cheeky, isn't she? New stand in cheekiness.
Very good, guys and girls. Well, good to see us. Let's crack on and have a great week.
Cool.
Okay, we'll see you at Hamo.
Oh, you will.
Cool. All right. And everyone doing those regattas, have a great time. Enjoy yourself.
I might get my little walking space.
I might pop up for a day.
Oh,
might get
go
bored
on.
at home.
Go on.
I'm at home for like 3 weeks. That's unheard of.
Unheard of.
I've never been home
Yeah.
for 3 weeks for as long as I remember.
What are you going to do?
Reach out to us at cheers@barkarati.com if you want to go
come
for
on.
the
We're
winning
getting
for some
getting a bit
Vicardi
lonely.
gear. If you're looking to buy a Sharpie or a moth, then just reach out to us at cheers@barkarati.com. Or an etchel. We've started the classified page by the sounds of it.
Classifieds.
disruptormarinemarketing.com.au to stop working and go sailing, and then our friends at Radix Nutrition if you want to work really hard while you're out there sailing. Have a great week. Thanks for listening. I think it's a good episode. I'm really happy that we got to talk about SailLAB after all this time. I'll have Jess on the show.
See you later.
Later. See ya.
Right in the grumpy part of the song.
I was just looking at slide guitars the other day.
You could play this in Early Beach.
What is the song called in case people want it?
Infinity.
Infinity. You go listen. Infinity. See ya.